So yeah, what up guys, I'm Bart from Fix Designs, bringing you another video tutorial considering Photoshop. And we got an answer asked on the Photoshop on a question asked on the PhotoshopForums.com, which was asked by Made by Wilson. Now he sent in a link, he made a post over there with a link to a YouTube video concerning some homemade 3D text. So let's get into Photoshop. I move my cam to the other side so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm gonna reset my window really quick. So I've got my layers over there as well, and this is the 3D text he was talking about. I made a quick screen grab from the video that he linked to. So let's get this show rolling and create a new document. Call this whatever you'd like. I'm gonna name this 3D text tutorial, and it's gonna be a 1920 by 1080, and I want my background contents to be white, which I'm gonna change now as I'm gonna unlock the background layer by double clicking on it, naming it BG, adding shift backspace and filling it with a 50% gray. Since we're working just on the text, it's the background isn't of any importance, as I'm only gonna do the text, and you can drag the text to any document you'd like, or changing the background to whatever you like. But I'm used to working against a 50% gray, and my eyes enjoy that as well, as for instance black would be too dark and colors would dull, and the white just hurts at your in your eyes, so just work at a 50% gray. I unlock the background layer as well, just because of the fact, just to be able to drag stuff underneath the background as any backup copies. So let's make us a text, and I'm going with a Hydro 74 font called Wizardic, and I'm doing that at 330 points. So let's type something in, something simple, just like fix. This font might not really work. Let's do the, well, not really. I'm looking for a more curvy font that's still without too much decoration, so to say. Something like this, but now I have to. Let's see if we can change stuff up in here. Let's put this just to auto, and let's see. So the important thing is to get the text how you'd like it right from the bat. So what I did here was change the kerning, they call it, between the letters, so they are spaced the way I want it. If you're done adding your text, hit the check mark or the enter key, and the enter differs from the return. It's the one near numpad, this one. And if we're done with that, while holding the Alt key, I'm gonna drag the text behind my background, so I have a copy over there as a backup in case I want to change the text later. Now with the text selected, go right click and convert it to a shape. We need that to apply the following transformation, so I hit Ctrl T and right click and go perspective. Now take one of the top corners and just drag it in a bit, just to enhance that feel of 3D as it's lying down this way. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna duplicate this layer, and by double clicking the thumbnail of the above one, we are gonna set the color of our main text. So let's say I'm gonna go with a blue like this, something. So if you wanna follow me to the letter, I'd say my color is 20416D, but of course you can choose any color you like. So we have this layer and we have the layer below it. And the layer below we are gonna use to make our stuff, give our stuff the 3D look. So let's pick an almost black in the same spectrum of the blue. So what I did, I double click the thumbnail. I'll do it again. I double click this thumbnail, clicked on this blue, and I'm gonna pick a darker, less saturated blue, which in this case is OF141B. And yeah, so make sure you see this line, this path line, this shape line, because it's going to be important for the next stuff we do. Next thing we do, grab your path selection tool. So if you can't see this black arrow, right click here and click the path selection tool, and make sure you've selected all 4 paths just by dragging from left to right hand bottom down. And now hit Ctrl Alt T, hit the arrow down once and confirm by hitting the enter key or the check mark on top. So what we did now was make a copy of the path and lay it one below. So we're gonna create a bunch of those copies to get a stacking 3D effect. So what I'm gonna do now is Ctrl Shift Alt T. I'm gonna hit that a few times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you're done with that, hit enter to get rid of everything. And yeah. So what I've got now here is the top layer and the bottom layer, making it 3D. I'm gonna move the top layer a bit. So I'm gonna make sure I've all paths selected, and I'm gonna nudge that over once. Just because I'm not too fond of some of the lines. I see. So get the move tool by this arrow or by clicking V, and just move it to wherever you like it. So by actually moving the stuff, we created some gaps, and these gaps we're gonna clean up. So make a new layer between the 3D and the top layer, and we're gonna do this with the, well, let's see if we can do it this way, with the direct selection tool. Yeah, this works. So let's do that again for this part. I'm gonna select the direct selection tool, which is under the path selection tool. I'm gonna delete this layer. And select all the top, and make a selection of the top part that isn't matching, and just drag the anchor points straight up so they match where they're supposed to be. So let's do that again, but now for this point. So select them, drag them straight up, and maybe a bit to the right for this one as well. So by clicking Ctrl and 0, I'm quickly zooming out to see if the stuff matches, whether the new setup matches with because I'm just doing this by eye. There's no accurate method of telling whether it matches or not. So I'm still, I still need to do this corner, so make sure you see the lines and just drag this up. Select those lines and drag this up. And let's see, do I need to fix the P as well? Yeah, the P needs to be fixed as well. As you can see now, this has a slightly strange curve. So let's see. How are we going to fix this one? Hitting P enter or Ctrl H to get rid of the lines. And I think I'm gonna fix this just by creating a cleanup layer. And with the pen tool selected, I'm gonna make a straight line filling the gap. And create, click the shape button and set the fill to this color, the shadow color, the stacking color, so to say. And with this shape selected, I'm gonna hit the A key to bring up my direct selection tool, and I'm gonna get this point where I want it. I'll hit Ctrl 0 to and Ctrl H to get rid of the lines, and let's see. Well, that matches up the way it should. I'm gonna merge the bottom two layers. So we have our top layer here and the 3D effect right beneath. So when we are done with that, you kind of have the 3D text already, and I'm gonna apply some effects to the top layer. Right, so what I normally do is drag this over to another screen so I can see what I'm doing, but because I want to enable you guys to follow, I'm gonna group. I'm gonna select the layers, hit Ctrl G to group it, and move the group up a bit. Now I'm gonna find my top layer inside the group and hit blending options. So what I'm gonna do now is go bevel emboss and check off the global light. Set this to 90 or even minus 90, and get rid of the shadows as we just want the highlights. Size, soften, just to bring some of that smoothness in, and it's a pretty neat effect. So let's rip this down a bit. Now we're gonna apply some. We're gonna make a blank layer, which isn't actually blank. So we're gonna select. Make sure you have all the paths selected. So grab your path selection tool and select all paths. In this one, go to the next and select all paths. So hit Control click on the thumbnail and do that on the layer below as well. Now we're gonna create a layer below the 3D effect, and we are gonna hit that on backspace to fill that with a color. So now we have this black text, which is actually covered by our 3D text. So let's bring that back and put the fill all the way down to 0. So even though it's covered now, you can't see it, even if it weren't covered. Create a slight drop shadow. Let's 1. Distance of 1 pixels and a size of 2. It just creates that little feeling of the text actually lying down. And let's give this a stroke as well of 5 pixels of pure white stroke. Not too big. 10ish pixels would be okay. What I normally do is, because there are some strange parts here in the stroke, as for instance over here, this doesn't match up the way I'd want it. So I'm going to create a new layer and call this stroke cleanup. This part doesn't run as smooth as well, so I'm just making quick selections. If you use the pen tool to create selections, make sure it's set to path. Make selection and fill that with white as well. If you'd want, you could choose to fill up those gaps as well. So straight line, make selection, and fill that with white, please. So this is how I'd go about it. And now since you've got the 3D text in a nice group, so let's call this fix 3D text effect. Hit enter, and let's say if I were to make new wallpaper and drag this text over by using the move tool, unlike the background layer, and let's do just something simple. Let's add in a gradient from 2 colors. We want to move it from really dark, almost black blue, to let's remove that. To something like this, but they're still a bit darker. And because we've used shapes, the text will always keep its crisp line. So let's say enlarge this. Convert this to a smart object, and let's say we're gonna enlarge this. Put it like that. Clean up where you need to and set this to whatever you'd like. So yeah, guys, I especially to Made with Vision, I hope this answered your question, and be sure to follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, that's it for this for today, guys. I'm Thursday. I'll start my new series kind of thing in which I'm gonna do a bunch of tools and shortcuts. I'm gonna release a 5-minute video every day, um, just for the sake of me not having to explain every tool and every shortcut I'm going to be using in my tutorials and in my speedouts. So yeah, thanks for checking me out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.